Every failed New Year's resolution to exercise comes from the same mistake. Most people think they know the answer, believing it's about willpower, or finding the right program, or just trying harder. This debate has two violently opposed camps, and both are convinced they're right. On one side, you have the disciplinarians who preach grit, and on the other, the architects who design systems. Where do you stand? By the end of this, you might realize you've been fighting the wrong battle entirely. The first philosophy is the one we all know. It's the voice of every motivational poster and every cinematic training montage. It's the philosophy of grit. The argument is seductive because it's simple. You make a decision and then you use willpower to enforce it. No excuses. You get up at 5 in the morning because you said you would. You run in the rain because the workout is on the schedule. Your feelings are irrelevant. Your fatigue is a test. This approach says that the discomfort is the point. This is the path of the warrior. Every workout is a battle against your weaker self. By winning, you forge a new identity. You become the kind of person who does hard things. You are building more than muscle. You are building character. The appeal is profound. It promises transformation through trial by fire. It tells a heroic story where you are the central character, overcoming internal demons to achieve victory. This is the world of no days off, where consistency is a function of pure, unyielding mental toughness. It's the logic that says if you can force yourself to do this, you can force yourself to do anything. You're not just going to the gym, you are proving to yourself every single day that your word is law. Think about the feeling of finishing a workout you almost skipped, the sense of pride, of having conquered your own resistance. That feeling is the reward. Proponents of this method would argue that this is the only way to build true self-respect. It's earned in the dark, early morning hours, when no one is watching. It's the bedrock of confidence. They point to high achievers in every field, from military special forces to chief executive officers, who structure their lives around this kind of rigid discipline. They say that relying on anything else, like motivation or easy systems, is building your house on sand. When the storms of life hit, only raw discipline will hold. That sounds convincing. It sounds noble. But there's a problem. This philosophy works perfectly until the day it breaks. And when it breaks, it shatters completely. What happens when life genuinely punches you in the mouth? When you get sick? When a family member needs you? When a project at work has you pulling 16-hour days for 2 weeks straight? What happens on the day you are physically, mentally, and emotionally running on empty? The grit philosophy has a brutal answer for this. It tells you that you are weak. It tells you that you failed the test. The shame is immediate. You missed one day. The perfect chain of victories is broken. The heroic story you were telling yourself now has a chapter of failure. For many, this is the end. The all-or-nothing approach becomes just nothing. The next morning, the thought of starting again is burdened by the memory of yesterday's failure. It feels pointless to try. That one missed workout snowballs into 2, then a week. Then you're the person who used to work out. The warrior, having lost a single battle, deserts the war entirely. The very thing meant to build you up becomes a source of immense guilt and self-loathing. This is the dark side of the grit narrative. It leaves no room for being human. This is where the second philosophy enters. It looks at the wreckage of the grit approach and offers a completely different diagnosis. The problem, it says, was the strategy itself. This is the philosophy of the architect. It argues that relying on willpower is like trying to build a skyscraper with your bare hands. It's possible for a few genetic freaks, but for most people, it's a recipe for disaster. The architect's solution is to build a machine that does the work for you, a system. The core idea is to change your environment, not yourself. It aims to make the desired behavior the path of least resistance. You don't summon the willpower to go to the gym. You make going to the gym so easy that it's harder to skip it. This is the world of tiny habits and atomic changes. You lay out your workout clothes the night before. That lowers the friction of getting dressed. You put your running shoes right by the front door, so you literally trip over them. The queue is unavoidable. You subscribe to a gym that is on your direct route home from work. You don't even think. You just pull into the parking lot. The architect's masterstroke is the 2-minute rule. Your goal is never, go for a 1-hour run. The goal is, put on your running shoes. That's it. Anyone can do that, even on their worst day. And once your shoes are on, well, you might as well step outside. And once you're outside, a 5-minute walk seems reasonable. The system isn't designed to force you into a grueling workout. It's designed to make starting automatic. It removes decision-making from the equation. Decision fatigue is a real phenomenon, and the architect treats it as the primary enemy. Every choice you have to make drains your limited battery of willpower. The system is designed to require zero choices. It just runs. This approach is backed by decades of behavioral science. It acknowledges that humans are creatures of context. We respond to cues and rewards. A well-designed system creates a powerful cue routine reward loop that over time becomes automatic. It bypasses the need for heroic effort. Imagine a person who keeps a single kettlebell next to their desk. Between meetings, they do 10 swings. It's not a workout. It's a mindless action like getting a glass of water. But over a year, that person has done thousands of kettlebell swings. No motivation required. No gym membership, no shame. It's just what happens. The system works independently of your feelings. It delivers consistency when discipline fails. This sounds foolproof. It's logical, it's evidence-based, and it's compassionate. And yet, it has its own quiet trap. The system is designed to get you started. It's designed to keep you from quitting. But what happens when your goals require you to go beyond easy? You can't 2-minute rule your way to running a marathon. You can't lay out your clothes to add 50 pounds to your deadlift. At some point, progress requires intensity. It requires pushing past the point of comfort. The architect's system is brilliant at preventing you from falling to 0. It is less effective at helping you climb to 100. There's a subtle danger here. A system that makes everything easy can create a mindset that avoids everything hard. You get so good at showing up for your 5-minute walk that you never attempt the 30-minute run. The system, designed to be a launchpad, becomes a comfortable cage. You achieve consistency, but you sacrifice intensity. You never fail, but you might never truly succeed in reaching your higher-level goals either. The architect's method can feel small. It lacks the grand transformative narrative of the warrior. It builds a habit, but does it build a person? The warrior, for all their flaws, is aiming for greatness. The architect is sometimes just aiming for attendance. Here we arrive at the core tension. It's a conflict between two fundamental views of human nature. Are we flawed beings who must be forged into something better through fire and will? Or are we intelligent animals who respond predictably to well-designed environments? The warrior sees the body as a disobedient subordinate that must be commanded. The architect sees the body as a complex system that must be skillfully managed. One is a philosophy of dominance. The other is a philosophy of engineering. Maybe the mistake is believing you have to choose. Imagine your habit as a car. The architect's system is the car itself. It's the well-oiled engine, the full tank of gas, the properly inflated tires. It's the heated seats and the navigation system pre-programmed with your route to the gym. It's everything that makes the journey smooth and effortless. The warrior's discipline is the driver. A good driver knows their car. They know when the road is clear and they can open up the throttle. They also know when there's a blizzard, and the only goal is to get home safely, even if it's at 10 miles per hour. The grit-only person is trying to redline a rusty engine in a snowstorm, wondering why they keep ending up in a ditch. They blame themselves for poor driving when the car itself was set up to fail. The system's only person has a pristine, perfect car, but they're so afraid of scratching it that they only ever drive it slowly around the block. They never experience what the machine is truly capable of. The real art is being an architect who builds a great car and a warrior who knows how and when to drive it. On your best days, when you feel strong and rested, the driver can push the limits. That's when you add another plate to the bar. That's when you run the extra mile. You use that energy and motivation to expand your capacity. This is where the grit philosophy shines, as a tool for peak performance, not baseline survival. But on your worst days, the sick kid, the brutal deadline, the emotional exhaustion, the driver eases off. The goal is simply to keep the car moving. This is where the system takes over. Your goal is the 2-minute rule. Just put on the shoes, just drive to the gym and do a 10-minute stretch. You lean on the architecture. You let the machine carry you. The goal is to survive the day without breaking the chain entirely. You traded intensity for consistency, and you live to fight another day. The warrior didn't have to show up, because the architect already built the road. So what are you really building? Is it just a habit, a line item on a checklist, or is it a source of strength that adapts with you, one that supports you when you are fragile and challenges you when you are strong? It requires honesty. It demands you know the difference between a real limitation and a convenient excuse. That's the hardest part, the part no system or mantra can solve for you. So the debate isn't about grit versus systems, it's about when to be the warrior and when to be the architect. One builds the story of your life, the other builds the foundation it rests on, and you need both. The warrior provides the breakthroughs, the architect ensures they last. But the final question remains for you to answer every single morning. Where do you draw the line between a system that supports you and a system that coddles you? And who decides if today is a day for the architect to be cautious or for the warrior to be brave?